Hi, and welcome to the session of Your Social Media Isn't Dead. I'm going to show you how to simplify your social media over the next 45 minutes and how you can bring it back to life. So one of the things that I would love to share with you is the access to my library of resources. So in here, you will find access to content planners. You will be able to get checklists for LinkedIn, how to SEO your Instagram and LinkedIn. There's also a PDF with 50 ideas that you can use for your social media and marketing. There's a plus so much more. So please do tap into these and have a look because they are resources that you can actually implement and use as well. And the best thing is they're free. So please do access them. So just before we get started, just want to introduce myself. I'm Samantha Cameron. I am a social media psychologist, expert, and strategist, and I help businesses simplify their social media and their marketing, but also about actually gaining visibility across the platforms without spending too much time or overwhelming themselves with everything. So it's about how you simplify your social media. And in this session, I'm going to share with you some tips and things that you should be actually doing every day in your social media that hopefully will make things a little bit easier for you as well. So you might be thinking to yourself, and I hear this all the time, oh, my social media is dead. It's not doing anything. I'm not getting any views. No one's interacting with my posts. I'm not getting any engagement. And I get that, get it completely. Social media isn't dead. In the month of December alone, and most of us feel December a quiet month in our businesses. I had over 8 million views across 4 social media platforms. So social media isn't dead. It's just how you are using it. And I want to share with you how you can actually bring your social media back to life just by doing things that I try and test and I show you because I have over a decade of social media experience. I've been running my business for over 10 years. I have over 30 years of business development and sales experience and training as well. Now, I'd like to introduce you to Fred. Fred is a member of our family. He's actually one of our Halloween decorations. But if you want a tip and you want to write off your Halloween decks against your expenses, use them in your talks and your social media props and everything else. And it's a great way to do that. So yeah, this is Fred. Now, I normally, when I'm out talking, he normally comes with me. But when he isn't, he lives in the living room and he scares the bejesus out of everybody that comes into our house because they walk past the living room and they see him there and it just scares everybody. My husband even said to me the other day, can we just move him, please? It's not very inviting having a skeleton in the living room, but no, this is where Fred lives. Now, unfortunately, there isn't much we can do for Fred, but with your social media, I want to help you bring it back to life. And that's what I'm going to share with you. But you might find that you've got a little bit of a problem. And this is something that everybody has, and I see it all the time. And we have that need to be on every single social media platform. And you don't have to be. There are over 100 social media platforms. We can't be on every single one. Now, the main ones that you will most probably know are Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, YouTube. You might be using Twitter stroke X, Blue Sky, Threads, Pinterest, Snapchat, but the 4 main ones tend to be LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. But you can't be everywhere. It's physically impossible. So this is why you'll be struggling to know what to post. But you'll also find that if you are using multiple platforms, you're going to be overwhelmed. You're going to be burnt out. And also, I hate to break it to you, but gone are the days where you can just put one post out, let's say once a day or 3 times a week, and let that work for you. It's not going to. You need to be nurturing your social media platforms. And again, you can't do that if you are using multiple platforms. And what you will find is if you are still using the same social media method that you used last year or a year ago or 18 months ago, you won't be getting any engagement or interaction because things have changed, things have moved on. So you need to be changing your strategy around your social media and marketing. So why do people fall out of love with social media? Now, I could go there with reference to, the politics and everything else that's on there, because that can make us out of love with our social media. But let's actually talk about it from a point of view of our business. It can feel time draining because we feel that we've spent hours creating posts, videos, stories, and we're not getting any interaction. It can feel overwhelming because we do spend on average 7 hours a day on our phone scrolling. And while we're scrolling, that will actually mean that we're looking at around 10,000 different pieces of content from video, adverts, posts, and we can start to feel that overwhelm. It can feel chaotic as well. You go on and you'll see people's posts, and there's lots of different messages coming at you. And it also can feel demotivating, especially when you see somebody that's doing really well and they're boasting about how well they're doing, or they're promoting how well they're doing. And then you just feel, well, why am I not doing as well as that? Okay. And it's mostly because they have a different social media strategy to what you have. So, one of the things I often say to people is platforms are like children. And I have 5 kids, and each and every one of them are very different. And the way that I work with them, and the way that I talk to them, and the way that I handle them are all very, very different. And that is very similar to social media platforms. We can't just think that every single platform is going to be the same. So we need to think of them a little bit like children, and how we are going to actually work with them, and how we use them, and how we can actually use them to help us grow our business. And that's one of the things that when I often do this kind of analogy, people kind of go, okay, I get it now. And even if you don't have children, it's about thinking to yourself, okay, not everybody is the same, and social media platforms aren't as either. So you need to understand how the platforms are working so that you know how to use them best as well. So when we think about the psychology of platform loyalty, when we are using just one platform or a low number of platforms, this is where we can start building trust, because we are being consistent. We're not just being consistent with posting, we are actually being consistent with everything else that we need to be doing. So, following up with people, interacting with people, growing our connections. And when we are consistent, this really does make a massive difference. But in order to be consistent, you need to have a strategy. And then to have a strategy, you need that focus. And to have that focus, you need that consistency. So it's kind of like, I wouldn't say a vicious circle, but it is something that you need to be doing all the time to make sure that you're on top of what you need to be doing. And when you try to do this across multiple platforms, this is where the chaos just happens, because it's really then hard to manage everything. So it's about simplifying it. And when you're using just one platform, it takes the pressure off you a little bit. And I do hear it all the time. Oh, so and so said I should be on this platform, or my target audience are on this platform, or what if I'm not on that and I miss my next big client? I'm going to say to you now, whatever platform you are on, your audience will levitate to you. Okay. Just because you're not on a social media platform doesn't mean that you are going to miss out on business. What will mostly happen is, if you're on that platform and you're not using it in the right way, it's not going to do anything for you at all, because you're just not going to be consistent enough. But it also allows you to be remembered, especially when you are using just one platform, because you're there in the forefront of people's minds. And it is not everybody will see everybody's posts. Not everybody remembers. And this is why we have to be consistent, because if we're not consistent, we're not going to be in the forefront of of people's minds. Plus, when you strip back everything, your message can be clearer. Your tone is a lot better, especially when you're using a platform that you're comfortable on. It makes such a massive difference. And when your message is clearer, they read your message better, they understand you, and then they start to trust you. And then they will work with you, they'll buy from you, and they'll recommend you. Because when you trust someone, you see them as a friend. And we always like to recommend friends rather than people we don't know. Think about the last time you got a cold call from someone trying to sell you something, and they mostly were trying to sell you something that actually you need in your personal life or your business, but you don't know them from Adam. They've literally found your number and rung you. But I bet if that person was on social media, and you saw regular posts from them and you knew who they were, and then they called you, that would be a lot of it. That would be a completely different story. You would trust them. So this is why we need to be building that trust. And it doesn't happen overnight, I'm afraid. To build that trust, to build that consistency, and to get your strategy where you need it to be can take as little as 3 months. So when we start building that trust and repeating our message, it builds trust. When we build trust, it helps with our visibility because visibility also builds trust. And then that's when even people that are just following you, who have never commented, who have never interacted on your posts, will start to buy from you. I always see people buying from me, and I'm like, oh, who are they? I've never seen them before. Are we connected? Yeah, we're connected, but they've never interacted on a post. They've never commented on my post. And when I message them to say thank you so much for buying this product, they say to me, yeah, I've been following you for ages, and it's never been the right time for me, but it is now. Or I've never been in a financial situation, but I am now. But I've loved the way that you've helped me. You've shared tips. You give away so much advice and knowledge, Sam, that I trusted you and knew that when I came to work with you, you would help me in the way that I needed to help with my social media and my marketing. And that's what being visible and being consistent does. It builds that trust, even in people that aren't interacting with you, but are following you. So people don't remember posts. As I mentioned earlier, we are on average on our phones 7 hours a day, and we will see around 10,000 social media posts and videos on a daily basis, on top of our 70,000 thoughts that we already have. This is data that was released by Boston University last year. And I want you to actually think about this. Can you remember a social media post from yesterday? Who put that post out? What their call to action was, and what was the image or the photograph or the video that went with it? You're mostly going to say no. And you might remember little bits, but then when you start to think about it, you start to think about other people's posts as well, because that's how our brain works. So we need to make sure that we are posting frequently so that we are being remembered. Not necessarily all of our posts, but we're making sure that we are drip feeding those messages to people so that those messages are getting through and it's staying in their brain so that then it's building up a picture. Think of it like a jigsaw puzzle, and your message is a 500-piece jigsaw puzzle. And every time you put something out, it's another piece of that jigsaw puzzle that you're helping somebody complete. But we need to also think about the time we spend on our platforms as well. And this is where I want to kind of say to you why you should only be kind of using one platform to start off with. Because on average, you need to be spending 30 minutes a day on each platform that you are using. So if you're using one platform, can you actually factor 30 minutes in a day to where, and this isn't about creating content, creating content and video content is on top of this. The 30 minutes a day is what you need to actually nurture that platform. And I'm not saying 30 minutes all in one go. It can be 30 minutes spread throughout the day. But if you're using multiple platforms and you want multiple platforms to work with you in the same way, and you're using, let's say, 4 platforms, have you got 2 hours every single day to actually put this time and effort in to make your platforms work for you? Most probably not. You might be able to do it once a week, but once a week is not going to cut it for you. So this is why stripping it back and kind of going, okay, which platform do I feel comfortable on? Which platform do I enjoy using? That's the platform I'm going to start with. And then I'm going to do the things that I need to do on every day to build and nurture so that I can actually become consistent. I can sustain this momentum. I'm not going to get the burnout. I'm not going to get the overwhelm. I'm going to start seeing leads and recommendations come through. And when you get to that point that that is what the platform is doing for you, you then start working on the next platform and build that in, and so on and so on. So you get to a point where you actually don't feel pressurized. It becomes part of your routine because it's working for you. Okay. And when something works for you, you don't mind doing it. You don't mind spending the time because you know that there's a benefit and you're getting a return on your investment. So some of the things we need to be thinking about for a daily activity is we do need to be posting multiple times. Unfortunately, if you're someone that just posts once a day, it's not enough. The social media platforms want more. They want you to post multiple times a day. And I have at least 4 posts and video, with videos going out on a daily basis. And I normally post on Facebook, I'm posting every couple of hours. On LinkedIn and Instagram, I'm posting every 3 to 4 hours during the times that I'm awake or my audience are awake. And then I have video content as well. So I normally have 2 videos, at least 1 video a day going out. I use stories on Instagram and Facebook. I'm interacting with others. So what does that mean? Well, on the core platforms that I use, I'm actually engaging in other people's posts. And I normally engage in between 10 to 20 of these a day. And then I'm connecting with others as well. So I'm normally connecting with 10 to 20 people a day and interacting with them as well. But I'm also following up. So these are the daily activities that I do. But when it comes to my social media content, do I do that on a daily basis? No. Okay, my content is actually all sorted until the end of March. I might do the odd post there in real time because I think of something and go, do you know what? That would fit in quite nicely. My video content, I tend to do at the weekends. So I will sit and I will literally I do green screen videos. I'll sit and do those. To do a whole week takes me about half an hour to create them and then schedule them. With my own video content, I normally know what I'm talking about because it's something related to the social media content I have going out for that week. I stand, I record them, and then I edit them. It normally will take me around half an hour, 45 minutes to do that end to end with scheduling those as well. But with my video content, I repurpose it. So once I've kind of created a batch of around 20 videos, I will then repurpose them. And then as I bring in new ones, I repurpose those as well. Stories, I sit at the end of the day, 10 minutes while I'm watching TV, and I will add everything to my stories on Instagram, automatically saves to my camera roll on my phone, and then I upload them onto Facebook. And if I want to put them on TikTok, I will. Interacting with others. This is something that I do pretty much on LinkedIn in the morning, and then I will do it throughout the day, normally while I'm boiling the kettle, but I'll talk about that a little bit more later. And then on Facebook, I tend to just do that as and when I'm using my social media capacity time as well. And then connecting with others, LinkedIn is one that I do religiously. Monday to Thursday, I will connect with 20 people, new people that are targeted around the audience that I want to be interacting with. And then once they've connected with me, I then send them a message. And then my following up, I spend 10 minutes every day at 9 o'clock just following up with people. Okay, just 10 minutes. That's all I do. Don't need to do any more than that. And it will be various things. It will be people that have signed up to my lead magnets. It will be people that have said that they're interested in something, people that I'm messaging, people that wanted more information through posts, that kind of thing. So I have a list, I have a CRM system that I work through. So that tends to be my daily kind of activity list around what I do. And I mostly spend about an hour a day doing all of this, but it's worth it because I do it with pockets of time throughout the day. So I'm not scrolling. So think about those times in the day when you are actually picking your phone up and you're going to go and scroll. Think about how you could be doing these things as well, because it's so easy to actually get caught up in our phones and start scrolling. And the average time that someone will scroll is 18 minutes. So every time you go into your phone, you're bored or you get distracted or you don't want to do something, you'll pick your phone up because it feels like that is a good way to have that release. But actually, it isn't, because once we hit that 7 minute mark, that's when our mental health starts to be affected because of social media, because it drains us. Originally, it gives us those dopamine hits that we need, but then it starts to drain us a little bit like the Dementors from Harry Potter does exactly the same. But when you have a structure around what you need to be doing each day on your social media, it makes such a massive difference because you're actually doing things with purpose that are going to get you results that you actually want. Now, for me, I post daily, multiple times, Monday to Friday. A little bit less at the weekends, unless I feel like it. But this structure I have here religiously is Monday to Thursday. Sometimes I'll do it Friday, depending on how busy I am, because Fridays are my day off. So sometimes I will just let my social media do what it needs to do. But I can do that. because I have built up a plan, consistency, and strategy that allows me to do that. So I just mentioned kettle time, and I want to talk to you about what I mean by kettle time. Anybody that's heard me talk or been to one of my talks or a masterclass before, I've talked about kettle time frequently. And the reason why I do this is because my kettle takes 2 minutes to boil. And don't tell me that you've got hot water tap, you haven't got those 2 minutes, you can do it instantly. If you are making a cup of tea, that tea bag needs to brew for 4 minutes if you want a decent cup. So you've still got 4 minutes where you can do this. And in those small pockets of time throughout the day, there's a lot you can do in 4 to 6 minutes. You can comment on 10 people's posts, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn. You can connect with 10 new people, whether it be on Facebook, LinkedIn, or follow 10 new accounts on Instagram. There is so much you can do in those pockets of time throughout the day. You know, it might not be while you're waiting for the kettle to boil. It could be while you're waiting for dinner to go. You know, you've put the pasta on and it's got 4 minutes on the timer, but you're like, do you know what? I can't actually go and do anything in those 4 minutes. Oh, I'll scroll on my phone. No. Think about the things that you can do. Think of me as the person on your shoulder, the social media expert that is saying to you every time you go and pick your phone up and you go to scroll, oh, hold on a minute. Sam is saying to me, Sam is challenging me now not to scroll, but to do something that is productive to actually grow my visibility and my business and my message and be consistent. Just try it. Because if you do this for a month, it just becomes habit. You stop scrolling, you stop affecting your mental health, and you start seeing the results. It could be you're waiting in line in Tesco's. How many of us have done it? In the line in Tesco's, and you're about 3 people in front of you, and you go and get your phone and you start scrolling. You're waiting in the doctor's surgery, you're a little bit early, or the doctor's running late. Guess what? We pick up our phone, we start scrolling. You're waiting at the school gates. What do? You get out your phone and start. There are so many periods throughout the day that you will be doing this without even realizing you're doing it. So it's just about changing that habit, and you're changing a bad habit into a good habit that you will see benefits from. So how do we know what platform to choose when we're kind of going, okay, which is going to be the only platform that I'm really going to do this on? You need to think about where your ideal clients are scrolling. Okay, so where do you think they spend most of their time? To be fair, if you're unsure, whatever platform you like, you feel comfortable on, and you love being on, that's where your ideal clients are going to be, because they will start to come to you. They will start levitating towards you anyway. Where do you enjoy creating content? You know, if you're someone that thinks, oh, I need to be on LinkedIn, but you're not comfortable on there, don't start with LinkedIn, okay? Because you will literally throw yourself in the deep end and you won't be able to tread water. You need to start with somewhere that you really do enjoy, or you need like to have proper training on how to use the platform, what you're going to do. You need to show up where you're not going to get burnt out. All right. And that's why choosing the right platform really does help. And also, which platform suits your communication style as well. And that's one of the things that you will find when you start kind of doing this exercise, because you start off with one platform and then you get everything where you need to be. And then it might be 3 to 6 months, you bring in another platform and then another and another. And what you will start to see is you'll actually start to see where you need to be. So, for example, Facebook has always been my number one choice. It's always been the platform where I've been comfortable, no problems at all. I've got that one in the bag. Okay, got a great audience, great engagement, everything else. So then last year, I decided that I was really going to kind of focus more on LinkedIn. I did that for 6 months, tried, tested lots of things. In my freebies, you'll see a LinkedIn checklist. You'll see how to create a LinkedIn profile that's SEO optimized, but it's also going to get you found on LinkedIn and through Google. And by doing that and implementing all these things into LinkedIn, I now generate leads and engagement and inquiries every single day on LinkedIn without even having to try, because I've put in a practice that actually works. Once I'd done that with LinkedIn, the middle of last year, I decided to go and do the same for TikTok. And that's what I did for 3 months. but it didn't work. I did exactly the same as what I was doing on Facebook and LinkedIn, but it didn't work. And do you know why? Because I didn't enjoy it there. Do I still put my content on TikTok? Yeah, I do. I put my videos on there. Why? Because I'm creating video. It helps with my SEO. It helps my websites. So if I have a platform and I'm creating the content, why not stick it on there? I don't need to be doing anything else on there, and I don't. I hardly spend any time, apart from the fact that I use TikTok to help me with research. So it helps me research videos that I like to reenact, videos that I might want to use, but I have a timer on my phone, and for 10 minutes each day, I'll just go in and have a look and see what's going on. As soon as that timer goes off, I come out. And then more recently, towards the end, so I backed away from TikTok. I was like, right, that's not going to be part of my strategy. And then later on in the year, November time, I started really working with the same theory on Instagram. And in 6 weeks, I grew my following by over 2,000 people, 2,000 followers. And I have on average now around 3 to 4 million views on my Instagram account each month. And that's consistent. And also I use it as a lead magnet. It's a lead generation for me now as well, because I'm growing my audience. They're going to my profile, they're going to my links, and they're buying from me from there. So again, it's looking to see how the platforms can actually work for you. But you can't do that if you're using all of them all in one go. You need to nurture each one, figure out how each one can actually support you and help you in your business. And by doing that, it might take you all year, but that's perfectly fine. Because if it takes you all year, at least then you know that that is going to benefit you going into next year. And that's what you've got to think about. This is a long-term plan. This isn't a short-term fix. It doesn't work like that. So I want to ask you a question. When was the last time you shared who you are on your social media? Like really shared a post about who you are, what you do, etc. Now, this is something that I do on a regular basis. At least every 4 weeks, I share a post. It's the same post, but it goes out and it tells people exactly who I am, what I do, and how I help people. How often are you telling people what you do? I do this on a daily basis, multiple times, telling people what I do and how I help people. How often or when was the last time you told somebody or shared how people can buy from you? I do this every day on multiple occasions. In fact, I think 3 of my posts today are giving people ways of how they can work with me. And then when was the last time you shared something personal? I do this every day because when we want to trust somebody, we need to share that personal side, but you can control what you share and what you don't. This isn't about you sharing, everything. This is about you deciding what you share. And when we share things personally, people start to kind of get invited into our world. When they're in our world, they feel that they trust us. They feel that they're our friends. And guess what? As I said before, people buy from friends. People recommend friends. And these 4 things are things that you should be doing on a regular basis. So review your last 10 posts and tick off how many of your last 10 posts cover these 4 aspects. And if they don't, think about how you can create content every day that is covering these aspects as well. Because you don't need more platforms, you need a strategy, you need to be more consistent, and you need to have a clear message. And this is one of the things that I see all the time when I'm working with business owners. They don't have a clear message. And the reason why is because they don't know what's going on in their business. They don't have a plan. They don't have a strategy, whether it be a business strategy or a social media and marketing strategy. And as a business strategist as well, this is where I love taking hold of people's businesses and looking at the gaps. It's about simplifying. I speak to so many businesses where they have got so many offers in their product suite that when they come to do their social media, they don't know what to be talking about. They don't know what to be promoting because they've got too much. And when you have too much, it makes it really unclear from your audience how they're going to work with you because they're like, well, do I do this? Do I do that? Or do I do that? So it's about creating a simple strategy that creates a nice ecosystem that makes it really easy for you to then promote it through your social media. So when you look at my platform strategy, I mentioned before that I work on 5 platforms: Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Now, Facebook and LinkedIn are my 2 primary. These are the 2 platforms where I do all the nurturing, post multiple times, interact with other people's posts, connect and follow new people, and I following up all the time. Instagram, I post on a regular basis, but I don't really do the other things. I don't interact on other people's posts. I don't follow new people. I don't need to because I've created a strategy on Instagram that is working for me at the moment. But I'm using my data, I'm using the insights all the time to tweak and change things because that's what we need to be doing. And when you are consistent, you need to use the insights and the data to help you move forward because by doing that, you then know how you can move forward in your business and you know how your social media platforms can then work for you. And then TikTok and YouTube, because I create video content, my videos go onto TikTok and they go on YouTube because it helps my SEO. It talks to Google. Google talks to my website. My social media platforms talk to my website, which means that I get daily leads and inquiries through my website. More recently, I've taken on 2 clients just directly coming through the website. One of them wasn't even local to me. She did a search on Google looking for a social media expert. She lives in London. I live an hour away from her, maybe more because she's inside London. And no one in London came up. I came up first. Okay. So again, that's what doing your social media in this method isn't just benefiting your social media, it's actually benefiting your website as well. So what do I share on a daily basis to build that trust, grow more leads, and generate more sales? So on a daily basis, I'm building trust. I've got content out that's building trust every single day. So I'm sharing personal stuff. I'm sharing what's going on behind the scenes. I'm sharing posts that are giving people expertise, knowledge, tips into what I do. And then daily, I'm creating lead generating content as well. So I have 10 lead magnets. They are PDFs, they're downloads, they're checklists. Book a call with me. My free social media group on Facebook, sessions that people can watch, my planner. So every day over a 2-week period, a post will go out promoting one of my lead magnets. So today is day 1 of those 10. And then when we get to week 3, so week 1 and week 2 will cover both because they go out Monday to Friday. And when I get to week 3, all I do is I just pick up what went out this week and put it into week 3. I don't recreate the content. I don't recreate the graphics. They are exactly the same content that's going out. Because I mentioned before, nobody's going to remember your post from 2 weeks ago. No one's going to remember your post from yesterday. So make sure that you're not exerting yourself or burnout by recreating your content every single day. You don't need to be doing that. Look and see what you put out over the last year. Reuse it. If you want to tweak it, tweak it. If you want to update the graphic or the photo, update it. But stop recreating new content all the time. Use what you already have. One of the other things I do is I put value posts out that help people solve a problem. And I also put content that gets people into my world. So, generating new leads all the time so that I can follow up with them. So, for example, my lead magnet that's going out today, everybody that goes and downloads that, I will follow them up a week later personally. I'll find them on social media. If I can't find them on social media, I'll email them personally. I don't rely on my email automation. Yes, I have email automation in place, but I don't rely on it. I make sure I reach out. When was the last time you downloaded something from someone and was bombarded by email automation? Did they actually reach out to you personally just to see how you were getting on with it? Most probably not. So it's about doing things just a little bit different because different stands out. And then every day I have a sales post go out that is promoting a product or an offer. and I have one each day. So all of my products, my product suite, they have tier one and tier two. So my tier one is my visibility accelerator container, working with me one-to-one and social media management. So what happens is these three will be promoted over on a regular basis. So Monday will be visibility accelerator. Tuesday will be working with social media management. Wednesday, working with me one to one. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. I have these posts going out. So what I do is I create a batch of posts for, let's say, a month, and then I will just reuse those over and over again. And then when it comes to my second tier, so Elevate, which is my event in November, I might be selling the tickets, all the sponsorship packages. Okay. Then I have my low ticket blueprint offer, which is an insight into social media platforms. And then I have my academy. And again, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I have a batch of posts that I repurpose and use. So again, what I am doing is I'm making sure that I am telling people all the time about the different ways that they can work with me. But I'm doing it in a way that is repetitive, but it's also ensuring that I'm getting that message through as well. I'm sharing testimonials and social proof around how I'm working with clients and how they're seeing results. But it's also making sure that putting those posts out gives people that clear reminder of how they can work with you. And that's all I have in my business. Three ways you can work with me: my container, one-to-one, or my agency. I don't have multiple things. And the reason why I don't have that is because I want to make life simple for me. I want to make life simple for my audience. So it's like this or that. Simple as, okay? And it makes a really good decision. One's this price, the other is this price. One is done with you, one is done for you. And it does. It makes such a massive difference. And also it helps you plan, it helps you budget, it helps you achieve your goals a lot quicker. So, yes, you can post more, but you need to have the right mindset, because if you go into this thinking that you can't do this, you haven't got the time, it's draining, it's overwhelming, it's not going to happen. I want you to go away thinking, okay, I'm going to implement everything that Sam's just said, and yes, it is going to happen. Because when it becomes consistent, that's where the magic happens. When you have a strategy, that's where the magic happens. When you plan, that's where the magic happens. And when you have the right systems in place, that is when the real magic happens. And that's what it's all about. It's all about having the right system and having a right ecosystem in your business to help you achieve all of this. So one of the things that I get asked all the time is, Sam, how do you create 3 to 4 posts a day? How do you create multiple videos every day and get this out? Is it not time consuming? No, not really. And the reason why it isn't is because I schedule everything. I use a scheduling tool. Now, this is the link to the scheduler that I use. I share this because people often then say to me, oh, what scheduler do you use? And if you are serious about really homing in on your social media and having a strategy, you can't use Meta Business Suite. You can't use the in-house schedulers. They're not going to work for you. Okay? Don't think of your social media as a hobby. Think of it as a business tool, because that is what it is. And if you want to create content on high volume, this is a great way to do it. As you can see here, here is a screenshot of my social media content for a week in September. And as you can see there, it says at the bottom, show 19 more, show 17 more. This is how many posts I have going out on one day. But can you see those 3 tiny dots in the right-hand corner of each of those graphics? I can click on that and I can ask it to repost, and it will repost to another day. So what I do is I create a 13-week content plan. And through that 13-week content plan, it allows me to actually create content that I can just pick up every 13 weeks and then move. Why do I do 13 weeks? Because there's 4 13s in a year, which means that every quarter I'm pretty much covering my social media. So when I do this, I'm doing it really, really simply. So what I do is I will have 13 motivational quotes. So I go and create. Now, if you're sitting there thinking to yourself, I couldn't come up with 13 motivational quotes, use ChatGPT. Ask it to create 13 motivational quotes based on what you do and how you support your audience. Then go into Canva, find a motivational quote template, and then copy and paste. Go back to ChatGPT and ask it to create a social media post based on that motivational quote it has just given you. Create 13 of those. I can guarantee that you would be able to do that in one evening because I don't want you to do this. This is my 13-week content plan, my framework. And I actually had someone say to me the other day, who is in my accelerator container, say to me, Sam, this is genius what you have come up with. I have my social media content all scheduled now for the next 3 months. And I've worked with various people. I've been doing social media content for years. Never had anybody just show me something so simple that hardly takes any time and hasn't affected my day. Because I do this. This is one thing that I did. I started it in January last year. And what I did was I sat down and one evening, I do this in the evening because then it's not encroaching in my day. Okay. Because during the day, I've got things to do to build my business and grow my turnover. So I don't want to be sitting there doing my social media. So while I'm sat watching TV with hubby in the evening, I could be scrolling on my phone, but no, I've got my laptop in front of me and I'll go, right, Monday evening, I'm going to create 13 motivational quotes and templates and get them scheduled over the next 13 weeks. You can do that easily in one evening. Then on Tuesdays, I share top tips and I do these in carousels. Now, you're not going to get 13 of these done in one night. It might take you 3 or 4 nights, but trust me, it's worth it because once you've created those 13, again, if you're unsure, get ChatGPT to help you. Once you've created them, you can then pick them up and reuse them. Go and have a look at my social media. Go and stalk me. Instagram's the easiest one to do this. You will see that I use the same content throughout the 13 weeks. Wednesdays I do behind the scenes. So what I do is I take so a question that I'm often asked, when's the best time to post? Which platform should I be using? And I've created a post around them. Now I do have 20 of these and they're growing all the time. But again, all I've done is I've created a graphic, created a post, and I've scheduled them. You could do these over a couple of nights really easily. And then Thursdays, I share testimonials. Now, you all must have testimonials. Have you got 13? I bet you have. So create 13 templates. Again, Canva will help you do this. Create a post to go with the testimonial. You can get these done in an evening. And then Fridays, I share various things. So I have 5 posts that I share over a 5 week period. And then they start again on week 6. And that's introducing myself. I have one asking people if they plan their content for next month. I introduce them to my agency team. I have one called Riding the Wave. And then there's another one that I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. But again, those posts go out every 5 weeks. So every Friday of the month, if the month's only got 4 Fridays, then again, they go out but that is what I do. And then on Saturdays, I do have a post go out on Saturdays. This used to go out on a Friday and I accidentally posted it on a Saturday one week and it got so much engagement and interaction. It was like, right, that post needs to go out on a Saturday. And it's called Sam's Random Shit. And it's just random ideas and things and thoughts that come into my head. And it is my biggest engaging post on LinkedIn. It really is. It gets so much engagement. I even get guys messaging and commenting on it saying, oh my God, my wife does that, or that sounds like our house. And that's the thing. I have this repeat, 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 repeat. So it's always in the front form of everyone's minds. But I never get anyone say to me, oh, you shared that 13 weeks ago, or you shared that 4 weeks ago. It's the same with my video content. My video content is repurposed every 4 to 6 weeks because nobody will remember your videos. People need to see things over and over again to remember it. So remember, do that. Okay. So social media is a free tool. Use it as a free tool. It's there to support your business. It's not to take over. And what I will always say is try and do your social media in pockets of time throughout the day when you are not focusing on things that will help you grow your business. And that's why I do them while I'm waiting for the kettle to boil, while I'm in the evening, because that way you'll fall back in love with it. You will find that it will start to benefit you. You will start to see that your visibility will grow. you will start to see you're more consistent. And guess what happens when you're visible? Guess what happens when you're consistent? Start to see the leads, you start to see the inquiries, the recommendations, and people buying from you because they know how to buy from you. But you do need to make sure that you're creating this ecosystem as well. So you're making it easy for people to buy from you. Go and have a look at your products. Go and have a look and see what you offer. Are you making it really simple for people? So do you have a low ticket, a mid ticket, and a high ticket? Or do you have other things weaved in because you think that that's what people need? Create your product suite based on what people need, not what you want, but what your audience need from you. So I would love to offer you a free social media health check. Just connect with me, drop me a message, and I will go and have a look at your social media for you and do a health check for you, because I want you to be, you need to kind of know what you need, what's right, what's wrong, what you should be doing and what you shouldn't be. But from there, if you do have any questions, at least then you know that you can answer me and get back to me. But you'll also be following me and you'll get lots of tips and advice as well. And you can see when things are changing in the social media world, because I change all of those as well. So the last thing I'd like to invite you to is my Visibility Accelerator. This is a container program that I spent a year creating, and we launched at the end of last year, and we kicked off on the 6th of January. So we're our first month in, and the first month has been incredible. So what is the Visibility Accelerator? It's helping you create your 13-week content plan, but not just one post a day. I'm going to, in the accelerator, I show you how to start stacking so that you have more than one post going out a day without spending hours and hours of time on your social media. I've also created a portal that has various modules in it, from social media, AI, sales pages, SEO, landing pages, lead magnets, all the things that you kind of need in your business with your social media and marketing to help you become visible. It's actually having all of those there to help you. So what I've done is I've created these bite-sized trainings so that you can go in and look. But what I do is I actually help you create a plan so you know what you need to be working on, because this isn't about working on everything. This is a lifetime access. And the reason why this isn't a 8, 12, 6-month program is because once you feel you've nailed your social media or your marketing, I can guarantee you it will all change. So you need to have somebody there to support you. And that's why I've opened this up as lifetime. So once you are in, I will work with you. And we are already adding things to the module. I've had people say to me, Sam, I'm interested in podcasts. I'm interested in books. Can we get these guest speakers in to help us with, what we should be doing from an accountancy point of view? What about the legal side of AI? These are all the things. I'm not pulling guest speakers in just for the sake of having a guest speaker. I want guest speakers to come in that are going to give lots of knowledge and lots of advice. So if you join, it's £1,000 as a one-off payment, and that's lifetime, or you can do 12 payments of £100. And again, that's lifetime. But you will also get access to my membership. You'll also be invited to the strategy days. So I run 3 of these a year for the Visibility Accelerator. The next one's in April, and then there'll be one in September. I haven't confirmed the dates yet, but once I have, those that are in there will be confirmed, and you get a full social media health check and audit as well, included in that. And if you sign up before the end of this month, you'll also get a ticket to Elevate to Success worth £149. I only take on 10 people each month for the container. This isn't about get loads of people in, because I work with people really individually as well. We have a WhatsApp group, and this morning alone I put in there, okay, what's your focus for this week? And each person I've gone back to and said, right, okay, this is the module you need to be looking at, or this is what you need to be focusing on. And then every Tuesday we have a live session on Zoom where I work with people to make sure that they're doing all that. So it's very hybrid with portal online recordings, but also with my support as well. So if that's something you're interested in, please either click on or scan the QR code and go and have a look, or drop me a message and book a call to have a chat a little bit more. But if you do have any questions, please do let me know. And yeah, thank you so much for joining. I really do appreciate it.